India's digital push has revolutionized the way India uses apps and smartphones, but it goes well beyond that. It has built a new type of infrastructure, what PM Modi called digital highways, or information ways, that provide rails for money, identity, data, and commerce that sit alongside roads, ports, and power.
बीते सालों में भारत ने धरती से चंद्रमा की दूरी जितनी है, सुन लीजिए, धरती से चंद्रमा की जितनी दूरी है उससे भी 11 गुना 11 टाइम अधिक ऑप्टिकल फाइबर बिछाया है.
India's digital stack, Aadhaar, UPI, DigiLocker, ONDC, account aggregator, and the like, is a global public good, a template for the global south. India's digital public infrastructure, in simple language, are open, interoperable digital platforms for identity, payments, data and services on which both government and private players build. Aadhaar is the biometric digital ID covering over 1 billion residents. It is the foundation for banks, KYC, subsidies and authentication. Jan Dhan plus mobiles links bank accounts through the most reasonable priced data in the world to create the Jam Trinity for direct benefit transfers. UPI is a real-time interoperable payments layer using many apps, banks for instant transfers. DigiLocker, eKYC, eSign, FASTag, GSTN, GEM. India has moved from identity deficit and leakages to a digital backbone that reduces friction and leakage in welfare and payments.
हमारे डिजिटल पब्लिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की चर्चा आज पूरी दुनिया में होती है. ये भारतीयों के इनोवेशन का बहुत बड़ा प्रमाण है. आज पैसा रखना है तो डिजिटल वॉलेट है, डॉक्यूमेंट रखने हैं तो डिजी लॉकर है, ट्रैवल करना है तो डिजी यात्रा है, हेल्थ केयर का लाभ लेना हो तो डिजिटल हेल्थ आईडी है.
UPI, launched in 2016, now handles billions of transactions monthly and dominates retail digital payments. The economic impact is obvious. Small merchants and informal workers now accept digital payments with zero MDR or zero merchant discount rate, a policy where merchants are not charged any fee for accepting digital payments in many cases. It has raised productivity, making it faster and cheaper, reducing cash handling, queues, and settlement delays. This greatly enhances MSMEs and gig workers' productivity. UPI's advantages were quickly noticed globally, and UPI linkages or pilot projects abound with countries in Asia, the Gulf, and beyond.
साथियों, आज भारत में हर महीने 20 बिलियन से ज्यादा यूपीआई ट्रांजैक्शन होते हैं. यानी पूरी दुनिया में हो रहे डिजिटल ट्रांजैक्शन में आधे से ज्यादा केवल भारत में हो रहे हैं.
NPCI International, National Payments Corporation of India's international branch, is signing MOUs to export UPI or co-develop systems. NPCI is promoted by the Reserve Bank of India and Indian Banks Association. UPI is now a diplomatic tool that India is offering low-cost sovereign payment systems instead of relying only on card networks or big tech wallets.
Companies to invest long-term, there needs to be some predictability, and I think he shows exemplary leadership in trying to create that long-term predictability that I think companies need to make these investments.
I'm absolutely amazed by the fantastic transformation that has happened in India over the past 12 years under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi. I think a lot has changed, a lot of openness has been proposed, and I think although a lot has happened already in the past 12 years, I think, as Prime Minister Modi also indicated, there's much more to come.
India is now the world's third largest startup ecosystem and has climbed from 81st to around 40th in the Global Innovation Index between 2015 and 2023. India now ranks 38 in the world and tops the rankings in two groups according to income group and geographical location. OpenAI's or application programming interfaces of India stack let Fintech, insurance tech, health tech and government tech companies build on it, thus lowering entry barriers. Account aggregator and consent-based data sharing enable new credit models for MSMEs and individuals. ONDC is Open Network for Digital Commerce. It is a protocol layer that lets any buyer app talk to any seller app, aiming to prevent a few platforms from dominating e-commerce. It has the potential to bring small retailers and local restaurants into online commerce without being locked into a single marketplace. India is proving that one can have open public payment systems plus competitive private innovation instead of winner-takes-all platforms.
एक दशक पहले हम मोबाइल फोन इंपोर्ट करते थे। आज भारत दूसरा सबसे बड़ा मोबाइल मैन्युफैक्चरर है। साथियों, ये जो स्पीड और स्केल है, इसके अलावा आज के भारत की एक और पहचान है। आज का भारत इनोवेशन पावर्ड है।
India has rolled out one of the world's fastest 5G deployments by number of sites and cities covered, riding on low-cost data and domestic telecom players. 5G is the highway for the next wave of IoT or Internet of Things, smart factories, connected mobility and richer digital services layered on DPI. With 1.4 billion people online, India is generating massive data sets in payments, mobility, health and commerce, raising both opportunity and privacy challenges.
इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स जो पहले भारत का बड़ा इंपोर्ट आइटम था, आज भारत का सबसे बड़ा एक्सपोर्ट आइटम बन गया है। इस मैन्युफैक्चरिंग ग्रोथ को नेक्स्ट लेवल पर ले जाने के लिए हम कई महत्वपूर्ण सेक्टर्स में इंसेंटिव्स भी दे रहे हैं, जिसका लाभ उठाकर आप पूरे विश्व के लिए इंडिया में मैन्युफैक्चर कर सकते हैं।
India's digital growth hardware used to be heavily import dependent on chips, network gear and devices, but that's changing. Government's semiconductor mission and incentives aim to attract fabrication, OSAT or online self-assisted terminal units and design centers, tying it to the idea of digital sovereignty and secure supply chains. India has built the software. Now it wants to be self-reliant in the hardware that runs on them.
भारत 140 करोड़ लोगों की आकांक्षाओं का देश है। हमारी यंग पॉपुलेशन, एक्सपांडिंग मिडिल क्लास और इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर एक्सपांशन भारत की ग्रोथ को नई गति दे रहे हैं। पिछले 12 वर्षों में भारत रिफॉर्म, परफॉर्म और ट्रांसफॉर्म के मूल मंत्र पर चला है और सरकार की पॉलिटिकल विल से यह रिफॉर्म एक्सप्रेस फुल स्पीड पर आगे बढ़ रही है।
Well, I think that the strategic partnership that we signed today with Tata Electronics is the result of the very strong ambition from Prime Minister Modi to get the semiconductor industry to start in India. I think he understands that this is strategic. I think he understands it's important for independence, for prosperity. And I think a few years ago, he set the course to get that industry in India.
Partnerships with Tata Electronics result from strong ambition. The G20 Delhi Declaration explicitly highlighted DPI as a tool for inclusive growth, with India showcasing Aadhaar, UPI and others as examples. Multiple countries are exploring or adopting India-style ID and payment systems or partnering with India on DPI toolkits. India's DPI is relatively low cost and scalable for low and middle income countries. Open standards reduce lock-in for any single vendor or platform. DPI has helped support financial inclusion, tax compliance, subsidy targeting, and MSME formalization, lifting productivity and GDP growth.
We have a joint ambition to double our bilateral trade and investments within 5 years. With current speed, I actually believe it could become reality even sooner. The decisive conclusion of the India-EU Free Trade Agreement is largely due to the foresight, the determination and the personal leadership of Prime Minister Modi and President von der Leyen. Thank you both very, very much.
Outcomes have resulted from quality adoption, proper regulation and safeguards, and not just low transaction costs. India has turned a development challenge, a large country with income disparities, underbanked areas, into a digital state.
It's about smart government. And I invite all of you, the voice of the smallest stakeholder gets as much preeminence as the voice of a large industry.
India's digital vision now exports not just software but a governance model for the digital age. For a generation of Indians, the state is no longer a queue or a form to fill up. It is the convenience of apps.
Every business needs to be on cloud. And what we are seeing is that small businesses, large businesses are also looking for sovereign technology so that their data is secure and utilized. For Bharat Cloud, we are looking at expanding, and we are open to working with industries to specifically cater to their needs and set up cloud centers for them.
Clearly, the 12 years under Prime Minister Narendra Modi have seen transformations that have lit up the lives and dreams of a vibrant, aspirational India and placed them firmly on the path of a Viksit Bharat. For decades, India powered the world's software revolution, but the hardware that drives the digital age, the semiconductor, was always made elsewhere. In 2014, India imported nearly 100% of its chips, making semiconductors one of the country's largest import expenses. But over the last 12 years, that story has changed. Under the Modi government, India launched one of the most ambitious technology missions in its history, the India Semiconductor Mission. It is a national effort to build a complete semiconductor ecosystem from chip design to fabrication, assembly, testing, and advanced packaging. This is not just an industrial policy, it is a strategic shift, a declaration that India will not remain dependent on global supply chains for the most critical technology of the 21st century.
भारत में सबसे जो कठिन से कठिन माने जाने वाली चिप्स होती हैं 2 नैनोमीटर की 3 नैनोमीटर की, उनका डिज़ाइन आज भारत में हो रहा है। जो एआई में उपयोग में आती है हाई बैंडविड्थ मेमोरी, उसका मैन्युफैक्चरिंग भारत में हो रहा है। जो कई तरह की मशीनें जैसे फ्रिज है, वॉशिंग मशीन है, मोटरसाइकिल है, कार है, इसमें उपयोग में आने वाली जो चिप्स हैं, उन चिप्स का मैन्युफैक्चरिंग भी भारत में होने लगा है।
In just a few years, India has approved over 1.6 lakh crore rupees worth of semiconductor and display manufacturing projects. What was once a blank map is now dotted with fabs, ATMP units, and advanced packaging facilities. In Gujarat, the Tata PSMC semiconductor fab is rising, India's first commercial-scale 12-inch wafer fabrication plant. In Sanand, Micron's ATMP facility has already begun production, marking India's entry into global memory packaging. In Odisha, India inaugurated its first advanced 3D semiconductor packaging unit, placing the state on the global chip map. In Rajasthan, the state's first semiconductor plant was approved in 2026, expanding the ecosystem into northern India. In Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, design houses, OSAT units, and material suppliers are building the supply chain backbone. These are not isolated projects. They are the foundation being built for a national semiconductor grid, an ecosystem that will power India's digital economy for decades.
The biggest challenge today in the supply chain is the memory. because of the AI boom in the world, memory supply has become short, and memory also is, the prices have gone up very substantially, which is impacting the final bill of material.
There's a famous saying that a semiconductor product travels international boundaries more than 70 times before it becomes a real product. 70 times, right? So you have the sand, the real pristine sand taken from one country, it gets converted into silicon ingots in another country, you get the wafers in another country, then you have a design architecture happening in one country, the actual design execution happening in another country, you have the fabs, manufacturing fabs in some countries, you have the OSATs for packaging and testing in other countries. So it's like a very big, and then you have the equipment supplier. The companies that provide the lithography machines, the companies that provide the fab equipments, they are in other countries. Then you require hundreds of chemicals and gases, which are very, very unique to semiconductors design, and then rare earth metals. So it's like the biggest spaghetti of worldwide talent and worldwide resources.
Every digital service, every smartphone, every data center, every AI model runs on chips. Semiconductors are essential. They are the new oil, the new steel and cement, the new strategic resource. For India, building semiconductor capacity is about economic security, digital sovereignty, high-value manufacturing, future-ready jobs, global competitiveness. It is about ensuring that India's digital revolution is built on a foundation that India controls.
It's a foundational industry, very important foundational industry. We, other than fabrication units and packing units, we also need to design products, because you capture a lot of value there. So that is one very important area which IC has taken up. And the other very important area is the manpower, that India to be the manpower supplier for semiconductors globally.
India already designs 20% of the world's chips through its engineering talent. The government's design-linked incentive DLI scheme is turning this strength into a national capability. Universities have access to world-class EDA or electronic design automation tools, MPW or multi-project wafer shuttles, and fabrication access, resources that were once out of reach for Indian students and startups. A new generation of chip designers is emerging, building processors, sensors, and accelerators tailored for India's needs, from agriculture to defense, from mobility to healthcare.
Energy generation, energy transmission, energy distribution, energy consumption. Anywhere we see it requires semiconductors, and we very much would like to focus on that area. And the other important focus area is automotive. India is among the top automotive nations in the world as a user, and this is only going to grow bigger because the per capita income of Indians is growing.
As India builds chips, it is also building the infrastructure that uses them. Over the last decade, India has attracted over $160 billion in data center commitments. With new tax exemptions and policy support, the sector is projected to cross $200 billion in investments. Data centers are the heartbeat of digital India, powering UPI, Aadhaar, DigiLocker, FASTag, ONDC, and the entire digital public infrastructure stack. Google announced its AI server manufacturing in India. The country is entering the AI hardware manufacturing at scale. If the 2010s were the decade of mobile and payments, the 2020s and 2030s will be the decades of artificial intelligence.
At least in the electronic industry, investments are coming in, some large scale. So we are very happy that very large players like Tata Electronics, for example, has come in and made a big, not only in assembly and manufacture, but also in semiconductors and important areas like this. Sometimes we become impatient, but this is a sector which requires time. So I would say 1 or 2 years is a very short period for us to, but within the 1-2 years we see very, very encouraging signs.
AI is transforming every sector: healthcare, agriculture, education, governance, logistics, and manufacturing. And India is positioning itself not just as a user of AI, but as a global leader in AI innovation, AI infrastructure, and AI-enabled governance. The government's India AI mission, launched with 1,000 crore outlay, is building capacity focused on a national AI compute grid, a public data set platform, a network of AI innovation centers, skilling programs for millions of young Indians, and a framework for responsible and trusted AI. This is AI designed for scale and inclusion. It is AI designed for India. AI needs compute, compute needs chips, and chips need fabs. India's semiconductor mission and AI mission are not separate stories. They are two sides of the same national strategy. They help reduce India's dependence on foreign supply chains. Data centers will strengthen the digital backbone and help build more startups that fuel innovation in the economy.
इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में देश ने बहुत बड़ी छलांग लगाई है इन 12 वर्षों में, जहां मात्र 1-2 लाख करोड़ रुपए का मैन्युफैक्चरिंग होता था, आज भारत में 13 लाख करोड़ रुपए का इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स मैन्युफैक्चरिंग है.
ISM 1.0 was of course very, very successful. Not just successful, I would say it was an extremely bold, it told us all in the industry that the government is willing to put its full weight behind large projects like that. Very happy that 2 fabs, that many OSATs and ATMP units have come up or are coming up. So that is very, very heartening. ISM 2.0, from my limited understanding, wants to take this further. So not only for fabs, but also for ancillary units. The raw material that is required for these fabs, whether it's some critical gases or pure materials that are required, the capital goods that are required. So the encouragement is now in terms of the raw material, capital goods, the supply chain, and the ancillary units that are required to be able to make sure that semiconductor the whole mission is successful.
The world is entering a new era of technological competition. India's rise comes at a moment when the world is looking for trusted manufacturing partners, stable democratic governments, a large talent pool, a resilient supply chain alternative, and a fast-growing digital market. The semiconductor and AI ecosystem is expected to create 1 to 2 lakh direct jobs and 5 times that number of indirect jobs. They will advance manufacturing opportunities and create a new generation of deep tech startups. India is getting ready for the jobs of the future, highly skilled, globally competitive, innovation-driven. As India looks ahead to 2047, the centenary of its independence, the vision of Viksit Bharat is anchored in technology. Digital public infrastructure gave India a head start. Semiconductors give India the hardware foundation. AI gives India the intelligence layer. Data centers give India the processing backbone. Startups give India the innovation engine. Skilling gives India the talent force. Together, they form the technology architecture of a developed India.
E-waste management program is very comprehensive now, and I see this as one of the biggest opportunities for India to build a remanufacturing industry, to be the world leader in e-waste, not only dismantling but reprocessing. And the great opportunity will be that we'll be able to harvest a lot of gold and precious metals out of it.
In 2014, India was a consumer of global technology. In 2026, India is becoming a creator of global technology. By 2047, India will be a leader of global technology. This is the story of India's rise as a technology power, utilizing it for public good. This is India's journey to Viksit Bharat 2047.